You keep replaying it in your head, don't you? That one mistake, that one decision, that one moment you wish you could go back and change. It follows you when you wake up. It sits next to you when you're alone. And no matter how much time passes, it still whispers, "You ruined everything." But here's the truth no one tells you. The past only has power because you keep giving it permission to live in your present. Every time you define yourself by what you did instead of who you are becoming, you hand your future over to a version of you that doesn't even exist anymore. You are not your worst decision. You are not that immature version of yourself. You are not the fear, the confusion, or the weakness you once had. You were learning. You were surviving. You were doing the best you could with the awareness you had at that time. The real problem isn't that you made a mistake. The real problem is that you decided that mistake is your identity. And when you attach your identity to your lowest moment, you unconsciously sabotage every opportunity that tries to prove you've grown. So if you're tired of being trapped by your past, stay with me. Because in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to finally break free from it. And if this already resonates with you, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're building a space for real conversations and real growth, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. The first thing you need to understand is this: guilt can either guide you or destroy you. There is a healthy kind of guilt that teaches you, sharpens you, makes you wiser. And then there is toxic guilt, the kind that keeps replaying the past not to help you grow, but to punish you. If you've been stuck for months or even years, it's not because you're still learning the lesson. It's because you've unconsciously chosen punishment over progress. You keep reopening a closed chapter, not to understand it, but to relive it. You tell yourself that holding on to the pain means you care. That if you forgive yourself, it means you're letting yourself get away with it. But that's a lie your mind created. Growth does not require self-hatred. Accountability does not require self-destruction. You can admit you were wrong without deciding you are worthless. You can take responsibility without chaining yourself to a moment that is already gone. Here's what most people never do. They separate the event from their identity. An event is something that happened. Identity is who you choose to become. When you blur those two together, you create a prison. You stop applying for opportunities. You stop trusting yourself. You hesitate before every decision because deep down you've labeled yourself as the one who messes things up. And that silent label begins to control your entire future. If you truly want to move forward, you have to rewrite the meaning of your past. Not the facts, the meaning. Instead of saying, "This proves I'm a failure," you say, "This was the moment I became aware." Instead of, "I ruined everything," you say, "I learned something most people never learn." The same memory that once weakened you can become the foundation of your strength, but only if you consciously choose that interpretation. And this is where the real work begins. Because letting go isn't about forgetting. It's about accepting that you cannot change what happened, but you can absolutely change who you are becoming because of it. The moment you decide your past will be a teacher instead of a life sentence, everything starts to shift. Now I want you to do something most people avoid for their entire lives. I want you to face your past, but differently this time. Not as a judge, not as a victim, but as an observer. Close your eyes for a moment and picture the version of you who made that mistake. Look at them carefully. Notice their age, their emotional state, their fears, their lack of experience. That person wasn't evil. They were overwhelmed. They weren't trying to destroy their future. They were trying to survive their present. Here's the powerful shift. Instead of attacking that version of yourself, talk to them. If a younger sibling made the same mistake, would you destroy them with shame? Or would you guide them? Most of us offer compassion to everyone except ourselves. We become our own harshest critics, saying things internally we would never say out loud to another human being. And that inner violence quietly shapes our confidence, our relationships, and our self-worth. You cannot heal in an environment where you are constantly under attack, especially when the attacker is you. So here's the exercise. Write down exactly what happened. No drama, no exaggeration, just facts. Then write what you learned from it. Then write how it changed you. When you put it on paper, something shifts. The memory stops floating around like a shadow and becomes something concrete, something you can analyze instead of something that controls you. And then comes the hardest part, forgiveness. Not pretending it didn't matter, not excusing yourself, but consciously deciding that you will no longer use that moment as a weapon against your own future. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is a decision to stop reliving a version of reality that cannot be edited anymore. You cannot grow while constantly looking over your shoulder. Understand this deeply. The past is a reference point, not a residence. It's a place you visit to gain wisdom, not a place you live. The moment you stop building your identity around your lowest chapter, you create space for a new one to begin. And that space is where transformation happens. Now comes the part most people avoid: action. Reflection is powerful, awareness is powerful, but without action, you slowly drift back into the same mental patterns. If you truly want to detach from your past mistakes, you must prove to yourself, through behavior, that you are no longer that person. Not by saying it, not by posting about it, but by making decisions that your old self wouldn't have made. Growth becomes real the moment it shows up in your habits. If you used to avoid difficult conversations, start having them. If you used to act impulsively, practice pausing before reacting. If you hurt someone, become someone who communicates better. Your brain needs new evidence. It needs proof that the identity you're trying to build is not just an idea, it's a pattern. And patterns are built through repetition. Here's something powerful. Every small disciplined action weakens the emotional charge of your past. Every time you act differently than you used to, you rewrite your internal story. You stop being the one who failed and start becoming the one who learned. And that shift doesn't happen in one dramatic moment. It happens in quiet decisions nobody sees. The workout you didn't skip, the apology you finally made, the boundary you finally set. And understand this clearly. You don't need to overcompensate. You don't need to punish yourself with extreme change. Sustainable growth is calm, consistent, and intentional. You're not trying to erase your past. You're building something stronger on top of it. A mistake becomes meaningless when your present behavior no longer reflects it. The truth is, the only way to silence regret is through evolution. Not distraction, not denial. Evolution. When your present self becomes stronger, wiser, more grounded than your past self, regret loses its grip. Because deep down, you know you are no longer that version of you. And that realization is freedom. At the end of the day, the past is not chasing you. You are carrying it. And the weight feels heavy not because it's impossible to drop, but because you've convinced yourself you deserve to keep holding it. But listen carefully. Punishment will never build the future you want. Growth will. Responsibility will. Courage will. The version of you that keeps replaying old mistakes is tired. It's exhausted. And it's waiting for you to finally say, enough. There is a powerful moment that changes everything. The moment you stop asking, why did I do that? And start asking, who am I choosing to become now? That question shifts your focus from regret to direction. From shame to purpose, from the past to the future. And once your focus shifts, your energy shifts. And once your energy shifts, your life begins to move in a different direction. Imagine who you could be 1 year from now if you stopped identifying with your lowest moment. Imagine the confidence you would feel if your actions consistently reflected growth instead of guilt. Imagine waking up without that constant whisper in your mind reminding you of who you used to be. That version of you isn't a fantasy. It's a decision repeated daily. You don't erase the past by hating it. You transcend it by outgrowing it. And the beautiful thing about growth is this. It doesn't require perfection. It requires consistency, small steps, honest reflection, intentional action. If you commit to becoming better instead of beating yourself up, your past will slowly lose its voice, and your future will find its strength. If this message spoke to you, don't just move on. Engage with it. Like this video so more people who are silently struggling can find it. Subscribe if you're serious about real growth and real conversations. This channel is not about surface motivation, it's about transformation. And in the comments, tell me honestly, What is one mistake you're ready to stop carrying? Let's build something stronger together. Your support means more than you think.